Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. This is our lecture number 6 about information processing under the course of Educational Psychology EDUC 3112. In this lecture we will see that what is information processing and what is memory. What are the parts of memory, which are short-term memory and long-term memory. What is the process of forgetting something, and what are the methods that are deployed to improve our memory. Starting from the concept of memory, it is our ability to encode, store, retain, and subsequently recall the information and past experiences in the human brain. So it is a process in which you can encode, store, retain, or recall the information and experiences in your mind. It can be thought of in general terms as the use of past experience to affect or influence current behavior, and it is very useful. Without memorization something, you cannot proceed in the walks of life. So there are some definitions of memory. Memory is the process of maintaining information over time. So this is very simple definition presented by Metlin 2005. Another definition says that memory is the means by which we draw on our past experiences in order to use the information in the present. So there is a link between past experiences and that has a link with the present. What is the importance of memory? We should know that in this chapter we will see that how information processing occurs. So memory is very important. Without memorizing something, you cannot perform the task, whatever, whether those are related to your academic task and whatever, if those are relevant to your day-to-day life activities. Memory is essential to all our lives. Without a memory of the past, we cannot operate in the present or think about the future. So life stops if we are forgetting something. Memory is very important. We would not be able to remember what we did yesterday, what we have done today, or what we plan to do tomorrow. So this is very important. We must have a link with our past, and we must foresee our future or think about about our future, as well as perform day-to-day activities in a routine time. Without memory we could not learn anything. So memory is involved in processing vast amounts of information. This information takes many different forms, in images, sounds, or meaning form. These are for the three types: visual, verbal, and semantic. Okay. Stages of memory. If something is learned and that becomes a part of our memory, that does not become a part of memory in one stage. There are stages of memory. For psychologists, the term memory covers three important aspects of information processing. So it is just like a computer. Our brain works like a computer machine, that whenever the new information is given to us, there is a process. After that process, that becomes a part of our memory. Memory encoding, memory storage, and memory retrieval. One by one we will see these. Number first is memory encoding. When information comes into our memory system from sensory input means by our five senses we can have an input. It needs to be changed into a form that the system can cope with, so it can be stored. Initially, first step, information is received. Think of this as similar to changing your money into a different currency when you travel from one country to another. So you cannot use the same currency in another country where that currency is not used. So whenever the information, outside information, comes into your brain, that is encoded. For example, A word which is seen in a book may be stored if it is changed or encoded into a sound or in a meaning. Sometimes we loudly read that word, and sometimes we learn that with by its meaning, that is semantic processing. Types of encoding information. So it says that encoding is done in three different ways. There are three main ways in which information can be encoded or changed. Outside information, whenever comes into the brain, that is encoded or changed in three ways: visual, which is through images or pictures; acoustic, which is through by sounds; and semantic, which is learned by meanings of something. For example, how do you remember a telephone number you have looked up in the phone book? Its simple way is that by looking at to that, or by loudly speaking and repeating that number, or by making some meaning of that. Meaning of that is not a right example here. This is not applied by visual and acoustic is here. If you can see it, then you are using visual coding. By simply seeing the number, you can visualize the coding. But if you are repeating it to yourself, you are using acoustic coding by sound. This is how you can encode the information. Memory storage. This is the other topic, that how a part of information becomes a part of your memory. This concerns the nature of memory stores, where the information is stored, how long the memory lasts for. It is depending upon the duration, and how much can be stored at any time. It is about the capacity. And what kind of information is held. It is about the type of information. So it is the memory storage process. Most adults can store between 5 and 9 items in their short-term memory. And according to Miller, 1956, put this idea forward, and he called it the magic number 7. It is explained that what is the capacity of short-term memory by plus minus 2 7 figure the number. He thought that short-term memory capacity was 7 plus minus 2 up to it items, because it only had a certain number of slots in which items could be stored. So whenever you are retrieving some you are having some information in slots, that likeliness of that is to be stored in your short-term memory slots or in chunks. Memory storage. Indeed, if we can chunk information together, we can store a lot more information in our short-term memory. It says that if we bit down the information into smaller chunks, then the likelihood to memorize that information increases in our short-term memory. And in contrast with the capacity of long-term memory is thought to be unlimited. So the short-term memory has limited capacity up to 7 plus minus 2, and the long-term memory is thought to be unlimited. This is our memory storage system says. Information can only be stored for a brief duration in short-term memory, which is very short duration, up to 30 seconds, but long-term memory can last a lifetime. Number 3 is memory retrieval. Whenever the required information is needed, you ask your brain, and that stored information is come up and used for the present, that is retrieval. This refers to getting information out of storage. जब चाहिए information उसको दिमाग में से वक्त पे situation पे लाना. If we can't remember something, it may be because we are unable to retrieve it. When we are asked to retrieve something from memory, the differences between short-term memory and long-term memory become very clear, because we have talked about its duration and capacity earlier. Short-term memory retrieval, it is different, and long-term memory retrieval process is different. Short-term memory is stored and retrieved sequentially. For example, if a group of participants are given a list of words to remember and then asked to recall the fourth word on the list, participants go through the list in the order they heard it and in the order to retrieve the information. So if you give a list, present a list of words to a group and ask them the fourth word, they can retrieve the information from their short-term memory. Whereas long-term retrieval says it is stored and retrieved by association. That is why its span is lifetime. This is why you can remember what you went upstairs for if you go back to the room where you first thought about it. Organizing information can help or aid retrieval. Whenever you organize the information, that is helpful for the retrieval in the long-term memory, and association is good way to organize the information. You can organize information in sequences such as alphabetically or by size or by time. It is up to you how do you organize the information in your mind, in your long-term memory. So the next topic is about forgetting. What is forgetting? It is forgetting or disremembering is the apparent loss or modification of information already encoded and stored in an individual's short or long term memory. अगर आप कुछ भूल जाते हैं तो वो क्या कॉन्सेप्ट है और वो कहाँ कहाँ अकर होता है, शॉर्ट टर्म में है या लॉन्ग टर्म में, किसी भी मेमोरी का पार्ट था और अब वो आप भूल चुके हैं, दैट इज फॉरगेटिंग. It is a spontaneous or gradual process in which old memories are unable to be recalled from memory storage. When you are unable to recall the memories, you are facing the forgetting. Why do we forget? So this is explained by certain theories. There are two simple answers to this question. First, the memory has disappeared. It is no longer available. बिल्कुल वैनिश हो गया सब कुछ मेमोरी से, इसलिए हम भूल गए. अदरवाइज द मेमोरी इज स्टिल stored in the memory system, but for some reason it cannot be retrieved. Due to some external factors, we are unable to retrieve the information on time, so that we have forgot something. So forgetting is explained by these two things: simply not able to retrieve, or simply not able to retrieve due to some reason. Why do we forget? These two answers summarizes the main theories of forgetting developed by psychologists. So psychologists have worked on the phenomena of forgetting, and they have explained the reasons by theory that how or why do we forget. The first answer is more likely to be applied to forgetting in short-term memory, whereas the second one is relevant to the long-term memory. Forgetting information from short-term memory. So we will see this. Forgetting information from short-term memory can be explained using the theories of trace decay and displacement. So we will see these two theories, trace decay and displacement, which will explain that why we forget information from our short-term memory. Number first is trace decay theory of forgetting. Trace decay theory states that forgetting occurs as a result of the automatic decay or fading of the memory trace. Trace decay theory focuses on time and the limited duration of the short-term memory. They say that due to the time and short duration, decay occurs and some information simply vanishes from your memory. This theory suggests short-term memory can only hold information for between 15 to 30 seconds unless it is rehearsed. After this time, the information fades away, ख़त्म हो जाती है. 15 से 30 सेकंड के दौरानिए में कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन हमारे शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी का हिस्सा रहती है. अगर वो रिहर्सल ना की जाए, उसको रिपीट ना किया जाए, तो वो ख़त्म हो जाती है. इट इज़ अकॉर्डिंग टू ट्रेस डिके थ्योरी. And according to displacement form theory about short-term memory, it says displacement theory provides a very simple explanation of forgetting because of its limited capacity, suggested by Miller to be 7 plus minus 2 items. Short-term memory can only hold small amounts of information. So इसकी capacity कम है, इसलिए शायद हम भूल जाते हैं. When short-term memory is full, new information displaces or pushes out old information and takes its place. So this is another explanation that how all the information is not retrieved in short-term memory. The old information which is displaced is forgotten in short-term memory. Number 1, capacity. This is all about capacity. Displacement from theory says, displacement from short-term memory says that capacity is short and new information displaces the old ones. So old ones vanishes or forgotten in short-term memory. Now we will see forgetting from long-term memory. It is also explained by two theories. Forgetting from long-term memory can be explained using the theories of interference and retrieval failure. These are very interesting theories, easy to learn because their names are self-explanatory to explain the context of the theories. Interference theory says it was assumed that memory can be disrupted or interfered with by what we have previously learned or by what we will learn in the future. This idea suggests that information in long-term memory may become confused or combined with other information during encoding, thus distorting or disrupting memories. So it says when there is a flow of information, so many information is in your mind, is part of your long-term memory, then that has an interference with one another. If one information is intermixed with the other or combined or associated with the other information, so the chances of distorting and disrupting memory increases. This is about long-term memory. The second theory is retrieval failure theory. It simply says that you fail to retrieve something. Retrieval failure is where the information is in long-term memory but cannot be accessed. आपको याद है लेकिन अभी वक्त पे आपके जहन में वो चीज़ नहीं आ रही. Such information is said to be available. It is still stored but not accessible. It cannot be retrieved. It cannot be accessed because the retrieval cues are not present. You might have learned that material with some cues and those cues are not present, so that you cannot retrieve the information from your long-term memory. This is very interesting that at the last we will see that how methods can be employed to improve memory. सिर्फ बादाम खाने से मेमोरी नहीं बढ़ती है, बल्कि देयर आर सम प्रैक्टिसिंग research based practices that improve your memory. It is really possible to improve your memory. If you have ever found yourself forgetting where you left your keys or blanking out information or important test, ये सब बच्चों के साथ बल्कि बहुत से स्टूडेंट्स के साथ होता है. They forget the important information whenever they are taking some test. You probably wish that your memory was a bit better. Fortunately, there are plenty of things you can do to help improve your memory. There are so many strategies you can employ. These methods to improve memory These 9 research proven strategies can effectively improve your memory. Number 1 is focus your attention. Number 2, avoid cramming. रट्टलाइजेशन को मना दूर रखें. Structure and organize. Make mind maps and organize the information in sequences. Number 4, visualize concepts. Whenever you make images and pictorial form of something, that is visualization. Number 5, relate new information to things you already know. So having a connection with new thing with the previous one. Read out loud. It means that do not read in silence, but reading aloud help you to hear as well as processing of information. Pay extra attention to difficult information. It is another technique to pay extra attention to the difficult information. Vary your study routine. It means if you study in evening time, you can also study in the morning times as well, or you can change your sitting position, your same study room, you can replace the time with one another, change the time. Get some sleep. It is also research based fact that full sleep is helpful for learning new skills. One by one we will see these. Focus your attention means attention is one of the major components of memory. In order for information to move from your short-term memory into your long-term memory, you need to actively attend to this information. Try to study in a place free of distractions such as television, music and other diversions, and in our context, free from mobile phone. So if you keep the distractors away from your study, you are more likely to memorize the material. Avoid cramming. Second one is cramming means रट्टा लगाना, तो आप इसको avoid करें. Studying material over a number of sessions give you the time you need to adequately process the information. Research has continuously shown that students who study regularly remember the material far better than those who do all of their study on one marathon session. So whenever you are taught with something new and you have learned something new, try to repeat that, and this regular routine of repeating the information and continuous repeating will be helpful for you to learn for a longer time. Structure and organize. Researchers have found that information is organized in memory in related clusters. So you can organize and make sequences or sequencing of the information. You can take advantage of this by structuring and organizing the materials you are studying. Try grouping similar concepts and terms together, or make an outline of your notes and textbook readings to help group related concepts. So in this way you can have a connection of one concept with the other, and similar concepts can be learned together. This way your memory increases. Next is visualizing the concept. It is very interesting that many people benefit greatly from visualizing the information they study. So if you need to read a drama or novel, and similarly if you watch a movie or film relevant on the same story, what is the likeliness to remember that? Visual impacts are have high impacts. Pay attention to the photographs, charts and other graphics in your textbook. Draw charts or figures in the margins of your notes, or use highlighters or pens in different colors to group related ideas in your written study materials. Next is relate new information to things you already know, making bridging the simply bridging, scaffolding. By establishing relationship between new ideas and previously existing memories, you can dramatically increase the likelihood of recalling the recently learned information. पुरानी information को नई information के साथ bridge करके जोड़ के पढ़ें ताकि आपको पता लगे. एक information जैसे simple is that के If you know Sanskrit, you will be likely more tendency having to learn Hindi. So similar concepts should be structured and related. Read out loud. Research published in 2017 suggests that reading materials out, reading materials out loud significantly improves your memory of the material. And educators and psychologists have also discovered that having students actually teach new concepts to others enhances understanding and recall. If you learn a concept and you teach it to the other, the likely chances of recalling that concept increases in your memory. ऊंची आवाज़ से भी पढ़ें और ख़ुद पढ़ें, दूसरों को भी पढ़ाएं. खुद पढ़ने से और लाउड रीडिंग करने से मटेरियल ज़्यादा देर तक याद रहता है. पे एक्स्ट्रा अटेंशन टू डिफ़िकल्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन. दिस इज़ बाय आवर कॉमन सेंस एज वेल कि जो चीज़ हमें मुश्किल लग रही है उसको थोड़ा ज़्यादा टाइम दें, एक्स्ट्रा टाइम दें, ताकि वो अच्छे से याद रहे. When you come across an especially difficult concept, devote some extra time to memorizing the information. Vary your study routine. Break the monotony. Another great way to increase your recall is to occasionally change your study routine. If you are accustomed to studying in one specific location, try moving to a different spot during your next study session. So all time sitting at one place may makes you feel burdened, and you may likely to learn less. If you study in the evening, try spending a few minutes each morning reviewing the information you studied the previous night. So this is a way that increases or improves your memory. And at last it says, this is the strategy: get some sleep. Researchers have long known that sleep is important for memory and learning. Research has shown that taking a nap after you learn something new can actually help you learn faster and remember better. And it is about learning some skills as well. That if you learn something, then take a happy, healthy sleep. That learning will be faster and chances to remember that will be increased. In fact, one study published in 2014 found that sleeping after learning something new actually leads to physical changes in the brain. So this is something unique to know. Overview of the lecture. In this lecture we have seen the information processing, the concept of memory, parts of memory, what is the phenomena of forgetting, and what are the methods to improve the memory. I hope you have understood well. Thank you.